Hey, welcome to Maximum Bat Speed. I just want to do a video for you today on a before and after. A student came in today for an hour lesson, and the father mentioned to me, and he as well, that he was struggling with a few of his mechanics and wanted me to look at his swing. So he came by and we work on it. So I want to just kind of go over what I did. First of all, I just want to say that if you want to get a hold of me, you get a hold of me by my email. As you can see it there, maximumbatspeed@gmail.com, or you could call me at my phone number and leave a message. If I don't answer, I do online video analysis, and I also do private lessons. And let's get started here, okay? Now, the first thing I want to show you on the left is, again, this is the before and what was going on in his swing. I just kind of go over some of the things he was doing. I really like his setup, and I was mentioning to him, he has a really nice setup. And I told him that I'd like to see him kind of relax his back arm a little bit more. And what this does, when you do that, it takes kind of the tension off your body. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But I'm always looking for the knees outside the shoulders and the feet outside of the actual knees. And very nice here. As we go further here, one thing that I mentioned to him that we needed to fix was his sequence, okay? And by that, I mean this. One thing that he was doing here, and I'm just going to show you here very quickly, he was pulling back prematurely before he got started his forward move. So you can see here what he's doing here. Watch what's going on here. So he's reaching the apex of his gather. You can see here he's at the apex of his gather. At this stage of the swing, you can see that he has kind of a shoulder to shoulder to elbow look going on right here. Now his shoulders are pointing pretty much to the second baseman area, and his back elbow is pretty high for the apex of the gather, okay? Basically what you want to do at the stage of the swing is just, like I said, just relax, let your body go for the ride. And another thing I told him was that at this stage of the swing, I felt his bat was way too tilted, okay? That when players usually do this, what happens is they start leaking their load. They start depriving themselves of the opportunity for them to maximize their full potential as they get into their toe touch and as they get into their heel plant, okay? So that's what we were pretty much talking about. Now, as we go further here, and I'm just going to kind of explain to you what I meant by what I just said, I'll just draw a line on his bat right here. As he starts to get in his forward move, watch what happens here. As he starts to slowly get to his toe touch, watch his back elbows dropping, dropping, dropping. Okay, now his back elbow went from, again, where it was kind of up here to down here. Okay, so that means his sequence is off. Okay, not only that, his bat went from being tilted like this to being actually more vertical. It should be the other way around, where your bat should be from being more vertical to being more horizontal or more slanted, okay? So that's what we discussed, that was going wrong. I explained that to him. I showed him the video. I had him do about 7 swings, and I said, okay, this is what's going on with your swing. I explained that to him. And I told them, by doing that, it's going to cause you to drop your hands. It's going to cause you to kind of maybe get bat drag. A lot of other things can happen. So as he starts to get into his swing, gets into his heel plant about right here, you can see here, it's very obvious that his hands have dropped at this stage of the swing. And at this stage of the swing, his bat is very vertical now, where at this stage of the swing, what you see with elite players, the bat tends to be more pointing towards the catcher's glove area, okay, towards this area right here, okay? And again, you can see that it's very obvious that his bat is very vertical at this stage. And also, like I mentioned earlier, some of the causative effects to some of the sequence being off, the elbows here, while the hands are here. Should be the other way around, where the back elbow, what you see in elite players, is usually a little bit back. It's usually a little bit back like this. And then in some players, it's even further back, like Dustin Pedroia. And there's quite a few other players in the MLB that keep their hands back elbow back because of the pullback, the resistance, the torque that they're getting, and having excellent sequence in their swing, okay? And the hands would be more up here in this area, up here around the deltoid, working around the deltoid, having a beautiful plane where the lead elbow, okay, the lead elbow and the shoulder plane, as you get into contact, should be in the same plane, okay, on the same plane. So in other words, by that, I mean this, that if you're a picture and you're just looking at a picture from the pitcher's view, if this is the shoulders being slanted right there, you want to also see the arms of the forearm and everything in the same plane. What usually happens is when a player's doing what this young man did in this video, his elbow plane and his hand plane, everything was much lower. Okay, so that's kind of from a pitcher's view what you would be seeing with what was going on with his swing. Now, as we get further here, you can see here as he's swinging, he's now, because he's not applying that resistance in the pullback, it's very obvious here that he's cutting across his body because there is not enough sufficient pullback and there's not enough sufficient resistance. And mainly the cause and effect was the sequence being off. And that right there caused him to do what he's doing in this video right here. Okay, so as we go further, and the swing, because his elbows dropping below the height of the mouth. Again, the hands start to drop. But when you do this, he gets to a beautiful point right here. But when you start dropping the elbow and you start dropping the hands, usually what happens with players, they start flipping through the ball. So you can see here through this particular pitch, he happened to kind of flip through it. If he would have maintained this angle through the ball, in other words, if he would have been able to keep the bat, and I advocate this if you watch my videos on YouTube, that I like to keep the barrel below the hands like this for a long period of time. So as you're swinging through the ball, it's a very, very gradual where you have a palm up relative to the angle. Okay, it's not horizontal, but 45-degree angle, palm up, palm down. So you're basically, as you're swinging, you're kind of getting into a swing where it's beautiful, like what you see with elite players in the MLB. It's a really nice swing like that, where the bat angles like that, where this gentleman right here, young man, was kind of flipping through it when he first came to, and we told him we were going to be working on that and a few other things. Okay, so this is just kind of a little bit of a overall of what he was doing in a swing. And again, we discussed what he had to work on. And another thing that he was doing in a swing here, I told him when he landed right here, pretty much at toe touch, that his body wasn't very symmetrical. And I told him it wasn't bad. I said it was good, but it wasn't elite. In other words, what you see here with his knee right here, and all these things matter, is you see here more of a kind of an elite with his left leg, but not with his right. And I'll get that into that in a few minutes here as we go further. But you can see as he starts to swing right here, you can see that his body at this stage of the swing, in other words, this right here looks really good, but this knee right here was kind of caving forward. It's hard to see from this angle, but if you were looking at it from a pitcher's view, his right knee was sticking out more, about 2 to 3 inches more than it was the left. At this stage of the swing, they should be pretty even. Okay, so that's again what was going on with the lower body. So as we go further here, I'm just going to put him back pretty much where he was right here. Now, if we look here on the right, what I told him to do here is, this is a drill that I do with students. What I basically told them to do, I said, let's go ahead and set up really nicely, and I'll just go ahead and kind of show you just real quickly how his swing kind of looked towards the end. Okay, and this is what's working on the pad drill, and you can see here. Look at this. Look at his hand path. Look at how his back elbow stayed back, how he allowed his front body, his release, his back shoulder, his right hip, his knees, his foot, everything just explode into the pad. I call this a pad drill. And if any of you have ever purchased my video, you'll know that I'm very strong advocate of the pad. So basically what he's doing right here in this video right here, and I'll just go ahead and back this up for you so you can kind of see. So I told him, let's set up with very nice and relaxed with the hands between the neck and the deltoid. Okay. And then from there, what I told him was, I said, just as you get into the apex of your gather, just let the upper body relax. I don't want to see any pullback, because again, when you start your pullback too soon, that causes you to leak your load. It causes you to get into all kinds of other problems. So you can see here what a beautiful job he does at just staying very, very passive with his upper body, shifting into that back hip socket. And right here, it's just does a great job. Okay, and this is just a drill we were doing. And this right here actually transforms itself later into, you do soft toss, and then from there into an actual swing that I explained to him from the very beginning. We worked on his mechanics for a while, and to get to this point, we were probably a good half hour into the session before he got to this point. Okay, so it wasn't just like, okay, do this, do that. We did several drills, and I work with him. I put my hands like on his back elbow, and I put it on his hand, and I told him, okay, this is the proper sequence and this and that. Okay, so there's a process to get to this point. So as we go here, like I said, you can see here very beautifully, he just shifts very quietly, just like what you see with the elite players. And you see that in the MLB. And again, this is a drill. As I told him, let's get to your toe touch right here. And right here, you can just see he's kind of going through the motions. And I said, okay, I want to see the pullback, the resistance. I want to see you really pulling back on that. Okay. And I just kept telling him, let's just pull back, pull back. So I had him do this 3 times. And on the 4th one, I told him, on the 4th one, I want you to hit into the pad. So what I'm doing here with him is I'm getting him used to the feeling, okay, of what it feels like to have pullback, what it feels like to have resistance. And when I was asking him what he felt and everything, he was telling me, he goes, I feel like I'm really pulling back. And I said, yes, that's why it's called pullback. So you can just see here, by doing this drill, by the time he was actually hitting the pad, he had a very, very elite mechanics or very elite look to his swing because of the pullback, the resistance. See how that back elbow staying back. Watch how the hands work around the corner of the deltoid. If you watch my videos, I always tell you, watch what MLB players do. They pretty much all do this. And it's just a beautiful hand path right here. And you can see how his back elbow staying back. You can see the angle of the back coming in beautifully right there. Lead elbow starts working up to the height of the mouth. The lead elbow at this stage is right on plane with his shoulders, which is going to allow you to free up your bat beautifully and now allow you to have the maximum bat speed through the ball. So anyway, if you can look at his back foot too, this is just beautiful how, again, how he's just releasing everything, just allowing his body to release. And we did a drill for that too. And another thing too is, this is what I was mentioning earlier. If we put him right here, pretty much in his swing, and if we go over here on the left-hand side, and you can see here as he starts to swing, and we'll kind of put him in the same place at the stage of the swing. Okay, this is pretty much at the same stage of the swing. Now look where his hands are on the left, and look where his hands are on the right. Okay, this is, and they're pretty much at the same stage of the swing. And this is what I was telling you with this back knee was kind of sticking out. Like I said, if you looked at it from the pitcher's view on this one, the knees are pretty much in line right here if you were to look at the picture. So you can see here that just from looking at this, that you can see definitely that his lower body is going to be working much better just from this kind of a look like this. Now on the left, his left leg looks pretty good. On the right one, it looks really good here as well. But you can see there's a big difference here as far as what's going on with the lower body. And by us working on his lower body, it allowed him to free up his body, allowed him to be more explosive hitting into this pad. And all this is like, again, a cause and effect. And I explained all that to him, what causes certain things to happen and why they should happen. So he had a very good understanding of what was going on with his swing by the time he left here. And I gave him plenty of drills to take with him. So you can see here, again, as he starts to swing, how beautiful this looks. And again, if we go to the same stage of the swing on the right, you can just see the difference here. Look at how his hands have dropped on the left. Look at his lower body on the left. This is exactly on the same stage of the swing. Okay, same stage of the swing pretty much. And look at the difference on how the body looks. Look how much taller it is on the right, how kind of hunched up it was when he got here on the left. You can see that again, his lower body, his hips and everything is able to work better. You can see how his back elbow looks just so much better. It just looks like he can just get to and through the ball, explode through it. Okay, and again, if we go one more frame here on the right, you can see here, beautiful job right there. And if we go here again on the left, at same stage of the swing, pretty much, you can just see the difference of what's going on, especially right here, how his legs are being freed up right here to just explode through the ball. And on this one right here, because he was kind of anchoring his knee going down, you can see here he has kind of this kind of a squish the bug kind of look on the left, and on here on the right, you can see that his back foot has released beautifully. Okay, now all this stuff is very obtainable for any player. I mean, it really is. And This young man is a very, very good student. I mean, I was really impressed by how well he was able to really grasp everything we talked about today. And again, you can just see here, very nice mechanics right here. This is beautiful contact mechanics right there on the right. Okay, and then again on the left, if we go this swing, they're pretty much on the same stage of the swing. And what I was telling him here on the right, I said, let's just work on keeping that lead elbow to the height of the mouth. Let's make sure we exaggerate that elbow, keeping, the bat below the hands. Let's work on that. Let's work on your wrist angles. Let's work on the hitter's box. And again, all this stuff right here, this looks extremely elite, extremely. And here, right here, you can just see this isn't bad right there. And this actually isn't too bad either. But the problem was his wrists were overactive, hit into the hitting area, where you can see here, it's very obvious right here with his hands that they're already starting to kind of roll over. Okay, so flipping over to the left, where on the right, I told them, let's just keep that palm up, palm down, again relative to the angle of the bat, 45-degree angle, palm up, palm down. And this is going to allow you to hit to and through the ball. And you can see here on the right, hitting to and through, and he just did a great job. I hope this video has been helpful. Again, contact me at my Gmail if you would like private lessons, or if you would also like to do an online video analysis. Again, I appreciate you supporting my channel. Thank you so much. Please give me a like if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something. I really believe that if you watch my channel, watch my videos, I have about over 100 videos on there, that you will learn a lot about what an elite swing looks like and how to apply it. All right. Thank you, everyone. And you have a wonderful day.